Hello everybody, this is Gov'T Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is a bit of information about how the new UK government led by Andy Burnham, Foreign Minister Milliband, expected to take even tougher stance towards Israel. Burnham also vowed to look at further sanctions against Israel. Andy Burnham became Great Britain's new Prime Minister on Monday, succeeding Keir Starmer and pledging a series of reforms that include what is expected to be a tougher stance towards Israel. He underscored that direction with the appointment of Ed Milliband as the new Foreign Secretary. While his predecessor Starmer was already seen as a relatively cool towards Israel, Burnham has vowed to take an even more critical approach, telling The Guardian last week that we've got to do more to put pressure on the Israeli government. Under Starmer, the British government sought to cut off some arms sales, sanctioned Israeli ministers, and joined the recognition of the Palestinian state, catering relations with Jerusalem. Burnham declined to characterise Israel's actions in the Gaza Strip as genocide, while adding there's increasingly evidence that the war crimes appear to have been committed. Burnham also vowed to look at further sanctions both on those involved in violence in Gaza, but also looked at steps to ban trade in goods with illegal settlements. Upon his assertion into office, Gideon Falter, chief of the British Jewish Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, wrote Burnham an open letter urging him make combating the rampant anti-Semitism in the UK a central priority. It was disheartening to British Jewry, he wrote, that you recently found time to announce specifically policy measures relating to a foreign policy matter over which Britain has very little influence but managed only a passing reference to anti-Semitism without mentioning a single policy. Jews have been murdered at synagogues, stabbed in their neighbourhoods, and attacked when they dare venture farther afield. Falter noted, referring to the 2025 Yom Kippur terror attack at Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester, and the then Mayor of Greater Manchester, Burnham, saw the effect firsthand, Falter said. Now, as Prime Minister, you have an opportunity to do what your predecessor did not. You can do something about it. While Burnham did not mention Israel in his speech at Downing Street, one of his first moves was to appoint the former Labour Party leader Ed Miliband, who is Jewish and has a long track record of strained relations with Israel. During his time leading the party in 2014 amid Israel's Operation Protective Edge against Hamas in Gaza, Miliband joined a symbolic call to unilaterally recognise a Palestinian state and criticised then Prime Minister David Cameron for his silence on the killing of innocent Palestinian civilians caused by Israeli military action. Jewish leaders in the United Kingdom have strongly criticised Miliband's nomination. Stephen Pollard, former editor of the Jewish Chronicle, called it the most nauseating political appointment of my lifetime, focusing on Miliband's opposition to military action against the Assad regime in Syria after it used chemical weapons on its own population. Not only was it a day of shame for Britain, it had global impact, argued Pollard. Obama feared a repeat in Congress and so backed away. Assad was just sent a clear signal: butcher your own people with chemical weapons and the West will look the other way. It also sent a signal to Putin that the West was weak, and he soon after invaded Crimea. Edmund Fitton Brown, a senior fellow with the Foundation for Defence of Democracies, told the Jewish Insider that Milliband believes is much less rapid than Jeremy Corbyn, the former Labour leader who once called members of Hamas and Hezbollah friends and faced persistent accusations of anti Semitism, but more anti Israel than either of his predecessors. In his first statement as Foreign Secretary, Milliband said that pursuing our interests and values means playing our part to seek to end the conflict in Iran and fully reopen the Strait of Hormuz. It must also mean working tirelessly to seek a sustainable peace in so-called Palestine and Israel, including an end to the terrible suffering of the people of Gaza and the security of the people of Israel. So this doesn't bear well for the Genesis 12:3 promise that those nations that bless Israel will be blessed and the ones who curse her will be cursed. To the Labour leaders who are now in charge of our country, have you not grown tired of being cursed? Our nation has been overrun by invaders. 2,500 of our children have been raped, trafficked, abused, sexually assaulted by mainly Pakistani Muslim rape gangs. And the only thing that you can talk about is peace in so-called Palestine. Get your house in order before you talk about anybody else. Whenever your country is not absolutely broke because of Conservative and Labour policies over the last 20 years, when our children have been raped, abused and murdered, when Henry Nowak was slaughtered by Vikram Digwa and his brother and his mother who hid the knife, when there's girls being raped on Brighton Beach who were autistic, when we're having to put up migrants beside children's playgrounds and schools, when we're putting hundreds of illegal migrants into towns with less than 150 people, when we're building homes for Ukrainians, for Palestinians, and we're even now allowing Gazans in, when our taxes are through the roof, when our pubs are closing, when our NHS is underfunded by billions, where we can't secure our borders from the French, never mind the boats, when we're a laughingstock among the world, when our Prime Minister goes to foreign things and looks like Mr. Bean on holiday. And now we've got a new leader who is going to only create more injustice for Israel. We need an election, and we need it now, because Keir Starmer was voted in by 25,000 votes in a country with millions of people. This is a laughingstock, and it wasn't anything else, only a coronation of Andy Burnham. Shalom, Maranatha.